racists and homophobics and xenophobics, that this isn't the guy that we voted for. He's been co-opted, and I would not be surprised at all, Joy, if they start looking for a new candidate, a new person to try to rally around.
Yeah, and you know, Richard Painter, you've been calling for Bannon and the other Bannonites, you know, his other fellow travelers, to be swept out of the White House. And to the point that Kurt just made, the other thing that Bannon told the Weekly Standard was the following: I think they're going to try to moderate him, Bannon says, and he means the so-called Democrats and globalists. I think he'll sign a clean debt ceiling. I think you'll see all this stuff. His natural tendency, and I think you saw it this week on Charlottesville, his actual default position is the position of his base, the position that got him elected. I think you're going to see a lot of constraints on that. I think it'll be much more conventional. Do you concur that people in the White House may try to turn Donald Trump into something other than the alt-right person he is?
Things they need to do to save this presidency. First, clean out all of the alt-right. Sebastian Gorka, Stephen Miller, the rest. He needs to be the Arnold Schwarzenegger of the Republican Party, be the Terminator of the alt-right. Out they. Second, he needs to have a personal conversion and renounce and repent for racism, for bigotry, and all the hatred that he has espoused thus far. Better be faster than St. Paul on the road to Damascus. He's got to do it now. Third, repudiate the so-called religious right, the fake Christians who've been dominating the Republican Party. If he makes it clear that he repudiates them, the Democrats will be checkmated, because they are not going to want Mike Pence if Trump repudiates the phony Christians and the religious right and embraces the true American values that have traditionally been in the Republican Party as well as the Democratic Party, of inclusion and democracy. So if he does those three things, I think he could save this presidency. But right now, he's in serious trouble. He should stop worrying about the idiots on the far right and what they're going to do to him in 2020. Make this a successful term and make sure that the extremists are thrown out of the Republican Party. That includes all those people in the White House. That includes Steve Bannon, Breitbart News, the racist platform they've been running, people like Ann Coulter, who run around attacking people. We need those people out of the Republican Party so we can govern and pass legislation to help Americans get health care, protect the planet, and do what Republicans and Democrats traditionally wanted to do to serve the American people.
I see David Corn nodding his head. David Corn, you have thoughts?
I love Richard Painter. You've been speaking truth to power from the Republican side. All those things that you mentioned, it's not going to happen. I mean, it's a wish list. I'd like to see it happen too. Donald Trump is 71, whatever, 72 years old now. He has been playing with race, or an outright racist, for decades. He got to where he was as a birther. I don't think I think he suffers some certain personality issues. So I don't think there's going to be any conversion. I think that's not going to happen. To me, the interesting thing here is whether Bannon can actually mount the type of war or offensive that people think he can mount. He has a difficult task. It's not easy to attack the working for a president without attacking the president. And when you attack Donald Trump, you know what happens. And so if it's, so I don't see how he sort of goes after people in the West Wing or people that Trump may be working with or parts of Trump agenda without Trump starting to treat him the way he treats everybody else. And that leads to a civil war within the Republican Party and within Donald Trump's base. Most of the people who voted for Donald Trump probably never heard of Steve Bannon at the time. So, if Steve Bannon, he's a disruptor. He loves chaos. He's like the Joker. He likes chaos. But at the same time, that may not be good for the party, may not be good for the Trump presidency, although it may be good for Steve Bannon's pocketbook and for the Mercers.
Yeah, well, he doesn't attack everybody, David Corn, because white nationalists don't get attacked. Putin doesn't get attacked.
No, he attacks the people. My point is he attacks the people who question him or go after him. Yeah. So how Steve Bannon can take a critical approach to the Trump presidency without attacking Trump and without being attacked back is a very, very difficult thing to see.
I'm going to come back to Kurt on whether or not Donald Trump has a fear of Steve Bannon, because he hasn't attacked him yet. I mean, he responded this morning with a tweet praising him.